All right. Good morning. Yes, it's morning in Colorado, everyone. And welcome to another episode of How I Met Your Mortgage. As always, I am your host, Adam Smith, with Just the Tips Coaching. And with me pretty much all the time is our marketing director and one of our other coaches, Jen Waymore. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning, Adam.
And we've got some really cool guests. Well, we've got a couple of cool guests for you guys. For the first time ever making a fourth appearance on How I Met Your Mortgage is Miss Piper Knoll. And remote from where Piper is sitting is their cat, their new kitten. And then we had to have Justin Knoll with us because somebody had to watch the cat. No, I'm kidding. But True. Good morning, Knolls. This is actually the first time you guys have done this in separate locations.
That's true.
Usually we get you both on one screen, but if I'm gathering this correctly, there is a new Knoll kitten. And so Justin's been banished to home to cat sit. The cat's name is actually Cat?
That's what I'm going with.
His name is Pitbull.
His name is Pitbull.
Pitbull,
yes.
The kitten. Okay.
Yes.
And Piper, you're actually in the office.
I am in the office today.
All right. So
we have our team meeting here today, so I'm being grown up.
I'm sorry. I know that's rough. And something else that was really cool and unique since the last time you guys were on the show is that Piper actually made it to one of our roundtable events last quarter. And there were a bunch of cancellations and no-shows, so we had a really intimate group and got some good legwork done. But if you guys have not seen or listened to a podcast episode of the Knolls being guests on our show, go back and look. The wealth of knowledge of what they've got, where they came from, what they've built, and what they did to get to where they are today it's so clean, it's so logical, it's so human, it's so people friendly for their team, their clients, on and on. They are the epitome of what a good real estate team looks like today. And I am not just blowing skirt, and it's not just because Justin finally has a panty dropping beard that gets me a little wet. But I'm in reality, you guys have made some huge strides in recent years, some major accomplishments for yourselves and your family and for your team and for their families and for your clients and for all of their families. And the number of people that you guys have helped and touched, not including yourselves and your family, is probably getting to be innumerable. I mean, you probably can't keep track of how many great things you guys have done for consumers, home buyers, home sellers, your team, on and on. You guys have got to be incredibly proud of yourselves. I know we're very proud of you.
Man, it's been a ride. What the last couple of years I think pandemic has brought to us is a greater appreciation of actual life and not just committing to work every minute, but delegating out and becoming more clear. And that's one thing that I think is so good on our team is we're very clear on what we do and what we don't do on our team. You don't have to do it all. Just be really good at what you do and what you're relied upon to do. And what's been super cool is watching Piper really step into her own. And she is 100 times better a realtor than I ever was. And to see that now manifest, it's true. She takes a different approach than I did. But now to see it manifest through the team and empowering others to lead and putting her in a position to really just go has been so amazing. And it doesn't mean you have to work harder. I think it's just more clear. And one thing that we talk about in our household all the time is clarity is power. And so we like to give each other as much clarity in what we're doing and where we're going as possible, and just to eliminate any doubts and drama. That's our hope, at least. So what do you think, Piper?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we really just try to focus on meeting people's needs and doing it at an exceptional level. To me, I feel like we're honored to be in this position to help people buy and sell homes. And we owe the community and our clients a great debt to that. This is an amazing job, and we have a huge responsibility.
Yeah, that is certainly true. It is an enormous responsibility. And it certainly has to be taken seriously. And we have that conversation with a lot of our clients at our mortgage company because, we've got to be thorough. We've got to be analytical. There's a lot of data. In some cases, it has to be force fed. But when the clients seem a little weary of that, a little fatigued from going through all the options and really figuring out what's going to be best for their long-term finances, I usually say something like, look, have you ever spent $500,000 on something before? No? Okay, well, let's treat that with the respect that it deserves. And yeah, let's really make sure that we're making logical decisions on this.
There's so many options out there. And I think the one thing that will survive a pandemic, any market downturn, any of that I've studied throughout my couple decades doing this is service never goes out of style and people never stop wanting it. And so we always take it to that next level. Piper and I are very service oriented. We're nerds about it. We went to New York. I think we may have talked about this last time, was our experience at 11 Madison, and how you walk in, and from the second you walk in, it's a different experience than anything you ever felt before. And that's what we try and do on our team is give the consumer, give the client something they didn't expect, and really deliver the goods after that. So that's how we build our businesses, through referrals and really exceptional service. But that we nerd out on it. Like, we go to Nordstrom, we go to all that and just study. We pay attention to the small things. Hospitality is huge for us. We love travel, obviously, as most people do, but we pay attention to the little things on how people reply in their response verbally, or what they do to that next level. We were at the Pan Pacific in Seattle. I don't know if we talked about this one time, but the bartender asked what kind of drink I liked, and Piper said rosé right away, let's go. And I'm like, I don't know, I like vodka and maybe some juice. And she kind of looked at me and she said, okay, give me a minute. And came back and made this incredibly complex, gorgeous, beautiful, delicious drink, which was totally not on the recipe. She just handcrafted this thing out of her own creative. And so that was awesome, right? That's an experience in itself. But the next level is, the next morning we woke up in our hotel room and there was a note card under the door. And in that note card was a note from that bartender that said, here's the ingredients to that drink. And she called it the Knoll special. So she took the time to go look at what our room number was,
who you were.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And gave us that recipe, and we still have it and we use it all the time. Well, not all the time, but enough. But it's things like that we just want to do something that people go, holy, I did not expect that. It's amazing.
Well, give us an example. How are you possibly matching that level of personalized service in the real estate business? What does that look like?
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. We make sure that we are exceptionally curated on how we approach our clients from the very first interaction with them. So we actually created a document, kind of borrowed from some other top agents that we know really well, and created this really long, obnoxious questionnaire, but it's called the Getting to Know You. And the clients that take the time to fill it out, it's a huge benefit, because we ask them, not just how many beds and baths you want, because nobody really cares. What we need to know is how they're going to live in their house, what they do for fun. And then we gift and service around the things that they told us they really enjoy. So if they tell us that they're, huge Avs fans and their favorite drink is a dirty martini, we can craft their gifts and experiences throughout the whole transaction based on that information. So it's been really, really helpful. Plus, we really get to know how they feel, how they act, and really what's most important to them. It's not just about the house, it's about how they're going to live there and what that home will mean to them. So we can craft that experience through the whole process, which then makes it super memorable. And then they can tell their friends, oh my gosh, our realtors did this for us. And it is that next level of service.
That's amazing.
So, it's amazing. And
so cool.
So what we utilize here in our program is what we call the drill down. And it's basically 50 questions about a client or a lead or an advocate. Again, anybody who would has worked with you, is about to work with you, or could refer business to you. So everybody. And if you can answer all 50 questions about somebody, then we know that they are a client for life kind of thing. education, kids' names and ages, their favorite food, their favorite drink, on and on. The spouse's name, wedding anniversary, on it. Nothing that has anything to do with how many bedrooms and bathrooms they want, or, do they prefer ARMs to fixed rate mortgages? None of that shit. It's very, very personal. And we actually figured out how to digitize that kind of crap in everybody's CRM so that you are automatically able to access these questions or the answers to these questions every time you're speaking with somebody, because obviously we all know that one of the big keys to good sales is to listen. Shut up and listen. People will talk. They will tell you about themselves. They'll certainly tell you their pain points, which is what we're all here to solve. That's what we do. But they will tell you what their favorite food is, or their favorite restaurant, or their hobbies, etc. Because, we're not suggesting that all of you pick up the phone and call your past clients and say, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite drink? You can't just fill it out. It's got to come organically. And here you guys have figured out how to make it feel organic while it is regimented, right? Every potential buyer and seller you're going to work with gets the getting to know you report, right, to fill out. And I want to fill it out. I want the Knolls to know that I'm not as big a Rockies fan as they are. Those kinds of things. But that I am a Rockies fan. I'm an Avalanche fan. Yes. But this is really cool stuff. This is, how do I say this? This is cutting edge while being really old school.
Yeah, so that's truly what this is. I mean, this is getting to know people in a truly organic way and not making it a sales thing. If I can actually know about you as a person, I can serve you better without you having to tell me what you need. I can anticipate those needs a lot more and really offer suggestions and solutions that you don't even know you had the problem that I had to solve. And so that's been the biggest key to this. And to building a 100% referral and relationship business, it has been really, really important for us. We don't buy leads. We don't get leads from mortgage companies. All of our clients come to us from either our current clients, past clients, or agent referrals. And so the more we can, really put our stake on this and put our mark on it, the more special people feel, because it's not the experience they get from a lot of agents. A lot of agents just, hey, we can put your, a sign in the yard and get it sold, no problem. There's so much more to real estate than that. And it is just understanding the people.
There's a piece of this that I think is, sorry, Adam.
No, go.
There's another part of this that I think is so crucial to realtors today, and that's how much can you systematize and automate on this stuff, right? Because if it's left to us as realtors, sometimes we're going to get it right, sometimes we're not. Depends on our mood, how busy we are, what kid got grounded, who's doing what. It's not always a slam dunk. So the things that we automate and really just make a systematic approach to is every listing we take, we don't list on random days. We list a property, it'll hit MLS Thursday and on the market Friday for showings. That's every listing that we take. There's a reason we do that. If I bring you a full price cash offer, especially in this market today on a Tuesday, the seller 99.9% of the time is going to say, why don't we wait until the weekend? So why did I waste my days on market and marketing expenses and energy putting a house on the market when you're definitely not ready to sell it and sign the docs? So those are some things. Along with that is when we do list that house, we have fresh flowers delivered to the house every time. There's not a buyer in town that doesn't want to smell fresh flowers when they walk in, and there's not a seller in town who's not happy to have fresh flowers delivered. The other thing that we're doing is for those sellers or buyers with kids under 13 years old, we send out a book about moving. It is addressed to the child. A lot of times it's the first piece of mail they'll ever receive. And we're trying to make that connection with the child. If I can win the child, I got the parents all day long, right?
So true.
Let's just call it real.
I would recommend giving them a kitten.
Yeah, exactly. I've got one.
I know, right. So for those of you in our audience that are consumers in Colorado, if you're getting ready to buy or sell, there might be a kitten included.
Exactly.
Just loading up. Just teeing that up for you.
Kittens are terrible gifts.
Terrible.
They're a lot of work.
They are a lot of work.
Piper and the team spend a lot of time figuring out what's next, right? What else can we add to this? So during the transaction, when you go under contract, we've got a stress kit that goes out, right? It's things that the head massager and boxes and tape and this hand squeezer. And I know a lot of agents do stuff like this, but it's consistent every time. It's part of our active process. Every single time we're doing it the same thing, the Nordstrom's way, right? It's not, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we did that this time? no, we're going to do this every single time.
Yeah, constant and
yeah.
consistent. Got to do it. No matter what it is you guys are doing out there, be constant and consistent.
There you go.
So there are some obviously brilliant ideas in here, and you've dropped Nordstrom a couple of times. I don't want to gloss over that. And we're really big on a number of businesses that we study and try to, I don't want to say mimic isn't quite the right word, but, instill and install methodology, again, systems, automation, where we can, where it's the same process over and over. So with our mortgage process, while this is internal stuff, I really try to rival it to McDonald's. And I don't know if you've seen the Ray Kroc, what's the movie about the history of the Michael
Ray
Keaton?
Kroc, yeah.
Yeah, Ray Kroc, thank you.
Yeah.
And I want every mortgage process, barring some examples, like obviously once we've sculpted and crafted how that loan is going to look, but I want one person on my team responsible for the bun, and one person on my team responsible for the patties, and one person on my team responsible for the special sauce, and one person on my team that puts it in the box. Those kinds of things. I guess we don't put them in boxes anymore. That was such a horrible waste of material. I don't know if you get a Big Mac in a box anymore. They probably come in paper again. They used to come in styrofoam. For those of you that are, not old as, I am. They came in styrofoam boxes. It was horrible. But Starbucks is one of them. We love Starbucks model. It's consistent. It's constant. You know what the environment's going to look like. You know what your drink is going to taste like. You know that you're going to get free Wi-Fi, on and on. Disneyland is another one. They are constant and consistent. Everything is done exactly the same way. Every day, they try to give every single paying customer the exact same experience, and they've got to be malleable. They've got to be able to, roll with the punches, as it were. But one of the big things that always drew us to that is that, barring the pandemic, Disneyland, and I think it's a better model than Disney World, but Disneyland had only ever closed for 2 days in something like a 70-year history. Once for an earthquake and once for 9/11. And other than what we've been dealing with the last year and a half, it has been one of the most constant and consistent businesses ever to grace the face of the planet. So how do you guys rival Nordstrom to what you're putting into your business model here?
Oh,
Come on, guys. You dropped the name a few times. Let's hear what you like about them.
That's a really great question. So, I mean, for me, it's having your clients feel as important as they are. I think that's something that's really missed. So many people just take business for granted, and, you're going to have the phone ring and you're going to be able to, do drive-through service and give them, hey, here's your quarter pounder with cheese. We'll see you at the window. We're going to do it fast and quick. We don't do that. We really take the time to understand their needs. Again, it's all about them. Real estate, in the way we run our business, is not about us at all. This is years and years of practice and modifying and tweaking and adding and taking away the things that are cumbersome to make sure that this is a really curated experience for them, where they don't even understand that they're, being sold to in a way. I don't even consider ourselves salespeople because of the way we do business. It is such a needs-based service that we do. And really, we take a lot of that out. And then we give them the exceptional service plus something extra that was unexpected. I think for us, it's that unexpected extra that is always kind of the, wow, that was legendary service that I want my friends and family to experience.
Yeah, and Piper, don't fool yourself. I will agree with you that you are not selling real estate, but you sure as hell are selling you and Justin and your team and the experience, and you're doing it well.
Thank you.
I think the other thing on the Nordstrom side is everybody there is bought in, right? Everybody there is pretty darn happy to be at Nordstrom. Yes, there's the outliers that want to find a different job, but when you're there, you can tell genuinely they're bought in. They love doing what they're doing. They are looking for, I feel like when I go in, they are looking for a reason to do something extra, right? They are looking for, we don't have that size, but not, do you want me to call the other store, which you were at the mall the other day, Piper, and had that experience where somebody did not, it was like they gave you a hassle because you're like, does another store have this? Where they are going, I'm not going to ask, of course you want me to check another store. Let's assume. So they just take the bull by the horns and say, hey, let me just hold on one second, I'll be right back. I'm going to go check another store. And when they come back, they say, hey, go talk to Jane over at the Cherry Creek store. They've got it there. She's phenomenal. And she's got something else she'll probably want you to see, right? That's a very different experience than just saying, hey, I can send this to you, or, oh, do you want me to look it up? Damn it, I'm here. Yes, take the initiative. And that's what I think Nordstrom does so well, is actively seeking out times to just wow people. And that's what we have on our team as a group of people that do exactly that. They nerd out on service. It's not us having to beat it into them. They already get it. So part of that's profiling and understanding who you're hiring and making sure they're into it as well. That's a big deal.
Very true.
It's such a good point, because our team, I cannot speak highly enough about our team. We have just had such great luck building these amazing agents around us that all bring something very unique, and they all have a very different value proposition to our clients. And they bring this energy that Justin and me don't necessarily have. It's very different. But we can kind of craft and be like, you know what, you're going to love working with Brandon. He's going to really knock your socks off. Or, hey, Richie's your guy. And John knows more about Denver than anybody else in the world. So it's really, really great to build that team, and then know that when you hand them off to somebody, like, you didn't oversell them, you undersold them almost, because our clients call me like, oh my God, you were not kidding. John is crazy connected. I didn't know that he knew so-and-so at this valet company from 5 years ago, and he got me reservations at a great restaurant tonight. That's how the team kind of works at this point.
Perfect. So here's the takeaway in my mind, that the culture in your office exudes, breathes, sweats the extra mile. That you guys have surrounded yourselves with a group of people that want to help people.
That's it.
Novel idea. And is there still a J.C. Penney's? Because they probably could have taken a lesson from Nordstrom. This is how this works. And it's funny because there's and one of our other colleagues and I know that you guys are familiar with Rob Tate and his team over at EV. He had brought up some really interesting stats, ideas. We may have even talked about it at the last roundtable that Piper attended, that teams are far more successful in recent years than agents. And I think a lot of what you guys are describing is what's lending to that success. How the growth of teams has been double-digit percentages year over year in recent years, and the growth of successful agents has only been single-digit percentages year over year in recent years. And it seems to me that you guys have to spend as much time focusing on anything as you do your team, your company, your culture, to make sure that you can continue to grow, to succeed, to take care of the people, your clients, their clients, your entire team's clients, to this level. I mean, this is a lot of effort and energy, and dare I say, it's like you guys are nurturing another child.
100%. This is it's so funny you say that, because we spend a bulk of our evenings discussing the team, its members. We don't really talk too much about transactions unless there's something crazy going on, but we're always thinking about the team and what greater needs they have and what greater potential they have. So I always subscribe to there's 3 ingredients that go into creating a really great culture. Number one, you've got to create a safe work environment. That's safe from judgment, safe from harassment, all that, but safe also in knowing that the check is going to clear, that when you have something to say that you're heard, right? So there's safety in all these things. So that's number one, is displaying to your team that you are open and they are for them, creating a safe environment. Number 2 is we've got to help each member discover their fullest potential. So when a team member comes, they typically say, I know I can sell, $6 million worth of real estate this year, and that's my potential. Our job as leaders is to go, that may be true, but what's the greater vision here, right? What is your true potential outside of just sales? Is it getting to 6 million and working 25 to 30 hours a week only? That may be your full potential. That may be you're going to go coach a baseball team or a football team or something else. That may be your full potential. So those are one of the key ingredients. The last one, and I think this is where we see a void in the market a lot of times, is people can get excited or they can create leads and sales and all this. But if there's not a clear vision from the top, you're in trouble. There must be an absolute clear vision on where you're going. And probably the biggest thing is why. That's what people want to buy into now, is why are we doing this? Not we're going to sell 150 homes this year. It's why, right? Why are we doing it? That's the buy-in. So if you can get those three key ingredients as a team, boy, you're doing pretty well. You're doing better than most, I would think. But those are three things that don't always happen that I would highly suggest you guys pay attention to.
And everybody should, even if you're not on a team.
Yes.
These are three factors that should help shape and mold your life, your career. I mean, not that there aren't dozens of others or hundreds of others, don't get me wrong, but these are three pretty big, personal growth development factors as well. So it sounds to me like you guys really aren't busy at all. I think you guys should adopt a kitten. You've got lots of free time on your hands here, right?
Well, we got rid of one of our kids. She's now in college. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, and getting rid of her is a loose term. She's came home twice already. She's been gone for 2 weeks and she's been home 4 days. So,
okay. That's because the laundry costs money there.
Yeah,
she missed her really nice bed, and her sister is what she tells us. But,
and you and I talked about this. She's in Boulder?
She's at CSU.
In Fort Collins. All right, go Rams.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. So yeah, the kitten was just, the kitten seemed like a little bit less work. She was really to fill the space of squirrel in our house. And that kitten's going to be a hot mess of it's going to be a project, that thing.
I'm really surprised that we haven't seen any cats today. Usually Jen has a half a dozen darting across her screen. I see one on the bed. I accidentally left the door to my home office open, and there are 3 of them that could easily be pouncing in here at any moment. And we know Justin now has a full-time job raising a kitten. So I'm surprised that hasn't occurred there either. I think Piper got the winning hand in this little game of poker here. She gets to deal with your team today instead of a kitten.
Exactly right.
And it does sound
kind of like herding cats. Just kidding.
Nah, your team is amazing. No question. And don't get me wrong, for those of you listening, and I feel the same way about my group that the Knolls feel about theirs. But God, a lot of you out there, a lot of real estate agents, a lot of mortgage originators, particularly if you're managing broker owner on either side of that road, it can feel like it's herding cats. And I think that this is one of those red flags where it's time to take a step back, look at what a team means to you, what managing a team means to you. And I remember doing it years ago, and I know we're going to run over, Jen, so bear with me. But I worked for a single mortgage broker before becoming a broker owner. And I was given an opportunity to become the branch manager. And it looked great on paper. You still originate your own loans. You get an override of what the other loan originators are doing, blah, blah, blah. Granted, this is getting on 20 years ago, and it wasn't. It was herding cats. I had no say in who was being hired. So it was a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing. And because they didn't know what they were doing, I had to devote all my time to helping them. So there was no time to originate my own business. And again, because they didn't know what they were doing, they weren't closing anything. So there was no override. Anything times 0 is still 0. And it was an awful, awful experience. One that I said I would never, ever do again. I'm not saying that being a broker owner makes it any easier than being a branch manager or managing broker. But when it's done properly, when your company culture takes priority over everything else, then yes, it is no longer herding cats. It is a matter of, building up a second family. Mm-hmm. They're my family. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal that way. So yes, Jen, I see that we are right at our mark. Jen, why don't you tell us a little bit about next month's, 3 weeks now, mastermind event, because we have got to have the Knolls there.
Piper and I have talked about it a little
All right.
bit. But yeah, 3 weeks till the Mile High Mastermind, our 5th annual event. We are super excited to have it at the University of Denver this year. It's September 24th, 25th, 2 full days of workshop style content. So you can actually implement it in your business right away instead of taking home a notebook full of notes that ends up in a drawer somewhere and you never look at it again. And you realize you spent all this money on a conference and didn't do anything with it. So we're going to have a website workshop where we're going to crown the worst website of the group, which I'm really excited about. And that person will win a free hour of website coaching with me to make it so their website doesn't suck anymore. Adam's going to teach you how to get published. We're going to go through team structure, which we talked a lot about important parts of team structure on today's show. So Rob and Adam will be talking about team structure together this year. We have some social media breakouts. We've never done breakout sessions before. We have a woman who is an LO out of Arizona coming to talk about TikTok, but all of her TikTok content is about credit repair. And she has 500,000 followers and 5 million likes on TikTok.
On a really boring subject.
Yeah.
She has that kind of followership, that kind of viewership on TikTok on a really boring subject.
Yeah.
That's almost as boring as mortgages.
Yeah, she's winning.
She is winning.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know, Jen, I don't want to interrupt, but well, yes, I do. I'm going to interrupt you.
You do.
Let's be honest. We talk constantly about how important conference work is, assuming 1, the content is badass, and 2, the other attendees are badass. Rob said it in our promo video for the event, iron sharpens iron. Okay. If Jen can convince the Knolls to be there, all of you listening, you're going to want to be there. They are the iron that will help sharpen your iron, I assure you. Go ahead, Jen.
Now you just like made me lose my, train of thought on everything. No, but I'm going to do an hour about Canva, which I'm really excited about because you actually can create your own graphics and you should be. Stop sharing the same shit that every other realtor or LO is sharing. Make it your own. Use your branding. I will teach you how to do that. We have Michelle Bradley coming in from Detroit. She'll be proud of me that I said Detroit instead of Detroit to talk about long-term content. Instead of just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, creating a long-term content plan, plus a whole bunch more. We've got Chaos Corinne coming back for the 3rd year with some new content, which is exciting. But if you text tips to 63566, it'll give you the link to get your tickets for Mile High Mastermind, September 24th, 25th. That text code has a whole bunch of other stuff. Our recent videos, you can get a copy of Adam's book, Just the Tips. You can get a ticket to Social Media Day, which we haven't even talked about yet. We'll talk about on the show soon. But yeah, text tips to 63566 and you'll get more information than you could possibly ever need about Just the Tips.
One big conference at a time here, huh?
No.
No, we're going to promote both at the same time.
Yes.
Don't miss Social Media Day Denver.
Yes, that's early bird tickets for Social Media Day Denver are available through tomorrow night. So I should mention that. That is October 22nd at Metro State University. We'll talk about that more after Labor Day, but early bird tickets are available till tomorrow night for that one.
Jen, you must be bored. You need a kitten.
I'm so bored. I do not need a kitten.
Hey, maybe Justin can give you a kitten to raise.
Hagrid has decided he's a kitten again. It's orange cats are psycho, you guys. I don't know if you've ever had an orange cat before, but
there's one here.
Psychotic. So good luck. I have one here.
See, they said they're supposed to be the nicest.
Oh, so friendly. So warm
but psycho.
And friendly.
Sweet but psycho. Isn't that a song?
Yes.
It was written about orange cats. Oh, promise.
Perfect.
Justin, Piper, I know it's a big deal for you guys to carve this kind of time out for us for a 4th time with us. But yeah, I certainly meant what I said when we first went live. And certainly as we're wrapping up here, you guys are the iron that sharpens iron. The people on your team are lucky to have you. We're lucky to have you. The entire Denver real estate community is lucky to have you. The Colorado Rockies are lucky to have you. On and on. I hope we can carve out some time for another episode with you guys. I know that the time is very, very valuable. What you guys do for your clients, your team, for us, for the community, that I can't express the gratitude verbally. So thank you.
Well, I'd just like to say, Adam and Jen, we are constantly hit up by lenders that are saying, hey, let us take you to lunch and tell you how we can add more revenue to your business. And we're like, no. I always appreciate how you guys take a more proactive approach. You're actually putting things out there that move the needle. I love the going to a conference and not doing anything with it stuff. Like that just drives me bananas. I just was at a conference last week and I have all these notes here and I'm like, I have to allocate the time to it. You don't sit around and wait. You don't sit for the phone to ring. You are constantly doing something. My phone is blowing up all the time with Adam on the other end. I'm like, hey, give me a call when you can, or this and that. And I'm the worst at calling back. I'm so sorry.
He sucks at it. Yeah,
I am so bad at it. I'm so bad.
But at least I never get your voicemail is full. If you're in sales and I get that recording from you, we're done.
We're done. Yeah. But thank you for what you guys do. And you actually are making this a better market to be a part of. So kudos and congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to run our extra. Thank you all for joining us, whether it's live or in syndication. If you're watching or listening, we do this every Monday morning at 10:30 Mountain Time, a fresh episode of How I Met Your Mortgage. As Jen mentioned, use that text code, text TIPS to 63566. You can get past episodes of our podcast, including the ones that have Piper and Justin on them. You can get the links to our weekly little tip. We do a quick video blog every week on something you can be doing to increase your business. You can get a copy of my book, Just the Tips. You can get tickets to both the Mile High Mastermind and Social Media Day Denver. Plug Jen. And I have my notes right here that say to plug Jen.
Appreciate it.
And yeah, so thank you so much for everyone for participating, and an extra great thanks to the Knolls for agreeing to join us again, and hopefully we can convince them to do so again in the future.
You bet.
You guys all have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.